Ready for the mosh pit, Shaka Bra.
What's up, everyone? Welcome back to StrangeCast, Player One vs. World's Life is Strange podcast. I'm one of your hosts, Adnan. My co-host Adam is here. Adam, you here?
I'm here. I'm growing out my beard because I forgot to shave for a few days.
Yes, yeah, and only a week apart, only 2 weeks apart since we saw you as well in the last episode, because this is StrangeCast. So, for anyone who didn't look on our scruffy. Anyone who didn't look on our last YouTube video, basically we changed schedules around because this episode is going to come out in Gamescom's week, and we basically decided to put StrangeCast out now instead of the Lost Records Journal, because the Lost Records Journal will obviously be a bigger episode in terms of the focus on Lost Records reaction to what we see. So it just made logical sense for us to swap the schedule around. So Lost Records Journal comes out at the end of the month instead, and this comes out now instead in its place. So just bear with us with that. So we decided to move StrangeCast forward. Obviously, you might be wondering if something is shown at Gamescom for Life is Strange Double Exposure, what we're going to do. I'll probably just do a live stream or something in the meantime. But anyway, that's just kind of give you an FYI for that. But as always as well, if you are new here and you do love StrangeCast, you love Life is Strange content, please do consider dropping a subscribe on the channel, turn notifications, like the video, and share with your friends. Help support the channel, helps keep up to date with the channel. And StrangeCast is available on all podcast services. We're available on Apple Podcasts, YouTube Music. We're available on Spotify. We have over 227 followers now. So thank you so much for that. And we have 27 ratings now, and we've now dropped to 4.8 rating. So we were at 4.9.
We're a real podcast now. People hate us. Yeah.
Well, I think my theory is for that as well, while we dropped the rating recently, is that basically you were talking last week and throwing smack at Max having a Stanley Cup, and there was presumably a person drinking from their Stanley Cup. Just sprayed out. Yeah. And they're like 1 star. And I'm like, great.
Although, like, I feel like Stanley Cups have died recently. I haven't really seen Stanley Cups in the same fashion as they have, like, just a few months ago. Like, am I wrong?
Max is going to bring them back.
Bro, I swear to God, dude, if there's a Stanley Cup in this game, dude, I'm going to lose my absolute mind, dude. Oh, my God.
I hope they were listening to this and then they organize the collaboration. They give you no credit for it, but they're like, actually, that guy in the beanie, he's wearing a beanie like Max. He's actually suggested a really good idea there. Let's do it.
I already struggle with massive depression, and then they're going to put a Stanley Cup in this game, dude. Like, I need a win this year.
It would be very poetic, if anything. Yeah, we are on spot. We are on Spotify, so if you are there and you haven't rated us, please do rate us. It helps us improve our rating because we are now down to 4.8. We are shocked. But Adam, we're back. We've got quite a few things to talk about, so should we kick things straight off here?
Let's do it.
Okay, so I think straight away we're going to quickly use some of our little features that we have here, some of the gizmos and gadgets, because people like it, and we're going to pull this up for the first part of the news just to show you. Straight away, Humble Store sale. Until 2nd January, this will be in our time frame. Jusant is 35% off. Harmony is 60% off. Girder Flaming Winter is 60% off. Twin Mirror is 75% off. That is all available on the Humble Store, so I just close that afterwards anyway. We're just trying to add visual elements to our podcast now. Adam, you've played a lot of these games. You played a lot more than me. I actually haven't played any of these yet. I want to play Twin Mirror next, if anything. But because you played quite a few of them, which one would you recommend someone goes after?
Okay, so definitely Jusant. Most definitely Jusant. If you're gonna only pick one game, most definitely Jusant. Okay, so this is my top 3 picks here. Because it doesn't seem that Life is Strange is on sale. Like, I'm on the Humble Bundle site. Life is Strange is not on sale. So just out of the ones that I'd say are on sale, number 1, Jusant. Number 2, I'm gonna say Banishers. Definitely, if you haven't played Banishers, dude, you gotta play Banishers. The more I sleep on that game, the more I'm like in love with it. And number 3 is gonna be a shocker. Twin Mirror. I like Twin Mirror. Nobody likes Twin Mirror. Like, I talked to my friend who's also a Don't Nod guy, and he's like, yeah, I hated Twin Mirror. I liked it. I thought it was fine for what it was, and for the price of $7.50. That is a good price for this game. For 75% off Twin Mirror, I'm going to say, yeah, go for that. So I'm going to say number 1, definitely Jusant, Banishers, Twin Mirror. Yeah, go for those games for sure.
I'm going to ignore the part where you said you have another friend, and I'm just going to focus on this because I think My focus at the minute, I'm trying to get myself on perspective here. Before the end of the year, I really want to play Twin Mirror and Gerda. Those are the two games
I thought you were going to say, before the end of the year, I want to get rid of all of your friends and me be the only friend. I'm going to make Liz divorce you so that you can only focus on me, Adnan.
You weren't meant to know about that. That's a different plan. But that's a different plan. But I think like I'm kind of keen to look at those two games. I really want to see Gerda because it seems to be slept on quite a bit.
I know. That's the one game I haven't played Gerda yet.
It seems like my kind of game. It might even be a Switch pickup when I get the Switch. I'm going to eventually get into that. And then I think I really want to buy Twin Mirror. I think obviously Banishers is something that looks at me where the more you talk about it, the more I'm kind of very much like, you wouldn't big up something like as much if you didn't think it was as good. So I'm kind of like keeping an eye on that. And then obviously Jusant, which you have played and also own the vinyl for as well, which I hope that is treating you well as well.
God, dude, the vinyl's so awesome, dude. Like it is perfect, man. Yeah, no, I'm not gonna go out and say that Twin Mirror is the best Dontnod game that's ever existed, but I think it's underrated. I think for a 6-hour game and where it's setted, like I think the visuals of the game, especially, I don't know, I liked it. But because it's only 6 hours, I think that's why a lot of people just drag it because it's so short, it doesn't really build to anything. But I don't know. I liked it. I think I can give it a good 7 out of 10.
Yeah, I think that's a very respectful and very decent rating. So yeah, they are on sale. They're available until 2nd September. So do go and check them out. Adam, next piece of news.
Next piece, yeah.
Okay, so we're going to quickly go back onto our visual feed here. This is looking at our lovely Twitter feed. As I said before, we're on social media, so do follow us. We keep you up to date with everything you need to know. So this is about Tessa Rose Jackson. So for context, Tessa Rose Jackson's music is in the Life is Strange Double Exposure. She does the music, the track called Illusion, which you saw in the reveal trailer. Recently been teasing things. So she was at the Metropolis Studios in London, in England. She was using a keyboard that belonged to Queen's legendary frontman, Freddie Mercury, and she was with Square Enix people. There were Square Enix people there. I think it was Square Enix's music designer, whoever it was. There was someone from Square Enix there. There was also Lucy Hale there, who works at Square Enix's PR team, was there. A couple of photos that says "Stay tuned." So it seems like Tessa Rose Jackson is doing something. There was also a video of her. We also give a shout out to one of our users penguin there for the little tip off. Yeah, of course, with the little penguin there. Yeah. So that does seem like Tessa Rose Jackson is going to make more music. I'm going to move that out of the way now. So I'm excited because I think she's a very talented musician. Obviously, I've only just come across her because of Life is Strange Double Exposure. I thought the Illusion track was actually very good. It was a bit of a banger in the Double Exposure trailer. Adam, obviously, your opinions are very clear on Double Exposure and among many other things, and even myself as well have been critical. I will say one thing that I think that at least with so far music choice, because obviously we know that Madeline is kind of hinted that she might be making music for this. They have suggested that indie musicians and bands and artists and stuff are featuring it. I will give them kudos that I think if there was a Life is Strange DNA, they have kind of kept true to that. Because, like, for example, Tessa Rose Jackson making the music, and you've been a firm believer of like indie artist is a better composer or musician kind of person. I'm kind of actually vibing the fact that they've kept her, and hopefully she's making more music, if anything.
Yeah. On one standing, I wouldn't want to even be in the same state as Freddie Mercury's piano, dude. Like, I would not want. They're like, "Oh, why don't you touch his piano?" I'm like, no. Like, I would be so nervous, dude. Dude, I would be so nervous, like to like break it, man. Like, anytime they bring up like Paul McCartney's like actual Rhodes, or I don't think he had a Rhodes necessarily, but he had like his stage piano. Dude, I would not even want to go near it, dude. I was like, no, I'm not worthy, man. So kudos to you for standing next to Freddie Mercury's piano. But yeah, no, I'm a firm believer on the identity of Life is Strange. It very much is indie artists. It very much is unknown, like more underground musicians. So kudos to at least Deck 9 recognizing that part of Life is Strange.
Yeah, I think that's the one element of the series which has kind of withstood the test of time, at least for me personally. Even with True Colors and the soundtracks, I think that at least the soundtracks that people have vibed off, and I thought have always been quite excellent for different standards, and I don't mean it's like, obviously I don't mean like Angus Julia Stone as a downgrade, for example, on like Daughter, but I think it's just a different vibe, and it fits with the vibe of True Colors, for example. But I like what I hear from Double Exposure. I think the music's good. I think they've kind of kept it to its root, and I can't really fault that. Even amid all the other red flags, concerns, and everything else I have with it, I'm still kind of like at least vibing with that. And Tessa Rose Jackson, like her music is really quite cool, and it's kind of nice to have actually come across her because of this, if anything. So yeah, I think that's if anything really reassuring sign, and hopefully we do hear music, because it could come at Gamescom, it could come at anything. You never know. Before we move on, by the way, just a random thought as well. If you had to if you could pick up one person's instrument in history, who would you pick up? Like if you could play anything that they had like made music on.
Oh man. That's a hard one. Like confidently or like wish list?
Wish list.
God, dude.
Just so you could like feel that aura, essentially.
Bro, like Stevie Wonder's Rhodes. Like any one of his Rhodes. Like if I could play on Stevie Wonder's this piano, dude, if I could play on anything that Stevie Wonder touched, man, like I would like actually scream. Like that would be insane.
Yeah, that's a pretty cool choice. Yeah, I would love to play in Zed's DJ decks.
I would like to touch Zed's keyboard.
I would like to just put my hand on Zed and be like, I'm in heaven. Like, there's my dream. See with that or Ross's keyboards from Friends.
Yeah, that would be great.
Because that's just iconic. But Adam, should we go into our next piece of news? Because I know you'll love this as well.
Definitely.
So there's a clip which has been going around, which shows off Max's photography skills in the game. So there's a photography key moments, which you'll be able to watch. It's like you can take a photo at certain points from Max, but this is also in collaboration with another brand deal. Adam loves these, and we're not at the Stanley Cup yet. We've got another one. So we're not going to talk about the Doc Martens. Instead, we're going to just talk about this one, which is Square Enix has announced a partnership with Polaroid. So obviously you've seen the clips as well online where Max is with Amanda. Wait, let me, you can go. Look, guys, this is what I'm dealing with. Right. Just to put it here. So Max Caulfield, I'm going to that press release. Max Caulfield, a professional photographer and investigator of supernatural mysteries, I didn't know she became an investigator, has never lost her love interest for instant photography. In Double Exposure, Max uses a Polaroid, now Generation 2 I-type camera to create beautifully imperfect in-game images in the iconic Polaroid style. This classic analog instant camera also comes with a double exposure feature that is deeply integrated with both the game's Polaroid photography mode and the story, and you can find the photo. And before I'm going to let Adam go rip here in a minute, I'm just going to quickly do another screenshot, Adam, just to show people the camera. So this is the camera that you can buy if you wanted to. It is €129. Adam, do you know what the best part is as well?
What?
This doesn't ship to the UK or the US.
Why?
I don't know. I tried buying it just to see.
What do you mean it doesn't ship to the
What? I tried buying it on the website, and I tried to look for UK and US, and it just doesn't appear. It's just a European thing. The euros are there. Like, you can't look. Let me show you. If you go to
wait. Okay. Okay. I almost left the site.
What have you done?
Because okay, I'm still here, but I tried to click on add the card and I tried to reload the page.
Let me just show you quickly.
Okay, add the bag.
Right, we're going to go on here. So for the visual feed people, we'll try and run you through this. Is it still on? Is on the checkout page now?
Okay. Yeah. Don't dox yourself right now.
No, I'm not doxing myself. So you can go on here. Look, there's no UK. There's no US. They're not here.
US outlying islands. Click on country and region. Just click on that. Country and region right here. The delivery. So where's this country region? And there's a drop down menu. Yeah,
and it's just US and out.
Well, no, click on it.
Yeah, but that's all it does.
Are you clicking on it?
Yeah, I've clicked on it.
Get the hell out of here!
Yeah, it's just that because so basically,
hold
if you go
on.
Here,
send me that. Is it on here? Okay, yeah. As well as real life. Okay, I'm going on mine. Add to. I'm going on mine. I'm adding it to bag because I am not accepting that, dude. I am not.
Take the screen sharing away now, just so you can do
Yeah.
this.
Dude, I am not.
Does it go there? I've looked at that. You know?
I'm not accepting this, dude.
You can accept it all you want, my friend. That is the truth. You basically have to like ship it somewhere else. Oh, there you go. He's doing the screen share now. Let's go for it.
Okay, so here I am. Boom. Oh yeah, it doesn't show that I'm clicking on it. Okay.
Yeah, I told you.
No way. No way, dude. No. Actually, no way, dude.
I told you. This is the wild part about it. It's like the consumer market that you'd sell.
And this is Polaroid.com. This isn't Polaroid.eu. What?
Yep.
No. Okay. You keep talking. I'm going to stop sharing. I'm just gonna keep. No way, dude. Okay, go for it. Sorry. Keep going.
No, it's fine. We'll try and keep you up to date as well if you're on Spotify and listening as well. Yeah, it doesn't ship on that. I double checked, I triple checked, I like quadruple checked. It's just so weird because it's like the kind of thing you'd expect people from the UK and the US to buy. It seems to be up their alley. So Adam is currently looking for that. But yeah, I'm honestly not surprised. When I saw the footage, it's like, we've had Doc Martens in, we've had Polaroid in. I think like there's almost like trying to find as many brand affiliation and ideas and stuff like that, and I think unfortunately it kind of ruins the indie aesthetic. It was never an indie game anyway, but the indie aesthetic is kind of being again lost in Life is Strange. It's being steeped in.
Okay, I got it. No, it was just a bad link on the actual article. If you go on Polaroid site, like I googled Polaroid.com, I have the same camera and you can ship it now to United States and Canada, so I guess if you go on your region, it'll be fine. So
it's just a link.
Yeah, for me it's $100. So it's $100 US. Holy crap, dude! But anyways, keep going. We just had to solve that. We just had to solve that mystery because there was no way, there was no actual way.
I was trying everything to search. I was like, hang on a minute. It's like, this doesn't make sense. I kept searching it, like trying to. Fair enough. So yeah, you can't get it in the UK and US, fortunately, if anything. I'm not surprised that they're doing this, if anything. This came out like quite after the Doc Martens conversation we had. I think you were kind of alluding to there's going to be more stuff.
So dumb.
If anything, the only argument I can really kind of make is that it's kind of on brand for Max, at least, because it's like she is quite associated iconically with that Polaroid camera, if anything. But I don't think people like, by the way, guys, as well, let me just say something. I think Adam might agree with this as well. Yeah, I think that this is the next era of video game trend anyway. Even outside of Life is Strange and Square Enix, we're getting to the point where in-game adverts are going to come a thing. Like, though it might even be a point where actual adverts start rolling through games at some point. Like,
I agree with you there. Yeah.
Like, this is sorry, this is like commercial incentive 101. And even so as well, I've seen it with loads of games, Call of Duty and stuff. I roll my eyes, I usually ignore it, and I don't try and give it any much attention from it. This, for an example, with Square Enix, it doesn't surprise me that they're working at the collaboration. I think that they could have done this a lot more better and a bit more kind of like, discreetly. Again, my only problem with it as well, Adam, is, if you're buying the product from the store, at least give it some like Life is Strange insignia on the side or something where it's like a Life is Strange logo to make it a bit more like, if it was going to be a collector's item, fair enough, because it's like,
sure, if there was a Life is Strange branded actual Polaroid, like that would be so sick. Like just a Max, like you said, like a Max Caulfield signature on the side, or like Hannah Telle. That'd be cool. Signature. Like a Hannah Telle custom Polaroid, dude. That'd be
like a limited 100 run.
Sure.
Limited 100 run, first 100, signed by Hannah Telle with like a butterfly or something on it. Do you make it at least a little bit like signified with Life is Strange? Then fair enough. Obviously, some people will be like, "Oh, I actually just want a Polaroid as it is because that's what a Polaroid is." But this just screams the same problem the Doc Martens had, for example. We'll come on to Doc Martens later, but it's like they didn't even have like a Life is Strange logo or something on them, where it's like at least it associates yourself with the kind of brand you're trying to like, the partnership you're building. It just seems to be like, we can make this partnership because this product's here. And it's a bit like, I'm kind of not really a fan of it, if anything. I don't know if you have anything else to really add about this.
It's so dumb, but like, you're so right that like, this is going to be like the beginning. Here's the other thing. like this whole game, double exposure, is going to be like the worst trend to come to gaming. Like 2 weeks advanced, 2 weeks, dude.
Yeah.
Like this is not going to be like the end of that. Like 2 weeks early is like the audacity of that. The audacity to get like actual Doc Martens as like an advert and Polaroids as an advert. Like it's one thing for like Tony Hawk's Pro Skater 1 and 2, like to have like actual vans and actual birdhouse skateboards, you know, like that's one thing because that's in the culture of skateboarding. You can't just have generic shoe, you know what I mean? Like you're a skater, you associate yourself with your brand. Like there are brand deals with skating. Like if there were no Americas in a skate game, I'm not playing that game. Like here's the other thing about me, personal thing. I only wear America shoes. I only wear Americas. Like my days in, my skate shoes, anything. I only wear Americas. So if there's no Americas in a skate game, I'm not playing it. Like I'm not playing it. Anyways, but my point being is that like it goes from being important in the game, like having Nike in an NBA game, and then being this. Like we could have had just an instant camera, but no, we had to partner with Polaroid and have the actual Polaroid that they're selling so that you can buy it in real life. That's an ad. That's an ad right there, dude. Straight
Which
up
I wonder if there's any regulations will happen with this in the industry in the next 10 years, because it just seems like, you know, imagine, because like, for example, if we ever got a brand deal, you'd have to disclose, like,
you have to disclose it. That's what I was going to say. Yeah.
And I feel like they are disclosing the deals happening because they've announced it's a partnership, but it still feels icky because it's in the game.
But that's not really disclosing as an advert because they said it's a partnership, like they're homies. You know what I mean? Like that's an ad.
Line.
Yeah.
Which is that really fine line, which I don't like, because some people probably have no idea because they don't follow the news. So it's like they'll play the game and they'll see a Polaroid and oh, actually I can go buy it. But it's like it's hidden stealth advertisement. It's like if I was like had like a camera here holding it and I was like, you know, camera. And it's like, and you just watch it the entire thing, but it's actually an undisclosed brand deal because it's like I'm advertising something, but and then you're like, oh, actually that camera looks nice. I'll go and buy it. Yeah. I just find it really weird. I just wonder if there's going to be regulation in place for this, because the gaming industry is doing every opportunity it can, from microtransactions. Even, for example, I won't name the person who tweeted it, but I saw it. Someone put, "Are you excited for the Life is Strange Ultimate Edition coming out?" And it was like with fire emojis, and it's like, I sit here with you and we criticize it for 2 weeks early access and being a cash grab, and you're just saying to people, "Are you excited for it?" No critique, no criticism. I've never heard this person speak anything about it so far, and I was just like, really? I was like, doesn't just tell you people, because that person is so out of touch with the world. It's like, I'm not going to sit there and be like, oh, are you excited for the Life is Strange Ultimate Edition? Buy it if you want, great. But it's also we know what it's laced in as well, because it's a publisher's greed. It's not like it's not
zero criticism for any of the practices, dude. Like it's just insane to me. No, this is definitely an advert. Like I don't know what that thin line is between. Like I said, like if you go to like Tony Hawk's games and it's just like there's bands in it, I don't know what that line is between Tony Hawk and Life is Strange, but this just feels like an ad, and I don't know what that line is. So like I'm not really one to say that like, oh, can you hold this up in court? Like Tony Hawk is safe, but Life is Strange is not. I don't know. I don't know if I can because I'm not a lawyer. I'm also really stupid. But this is definitely like this feels like an undisclosed ad.
Yeah, it does feel really icky, if anything. But we'll wrap that up here. Should we go into our next piece of news?
Yes. Also, shout out to America Shoes. They last really long, and I like them a lot.
That is not an advert or a product placement. FYI,
shout out. I'm just all about Americas.
So, Adam, actually, funnily enough, this has come out on the back end of our last episode where we were talking about is the marketing a red flag. We haven't actually heard like them appear at events, but Life is Strange on the 16th of August. We're going back to screen share again. They going to PAX West in Seattle. Join us for an interactive on the 9th of the 1st at 2 p.m. with the developers from Life is Strange Double Exposure. Watch us host Andrew Renee and the devs play through a never-before-seen part of the game. I wonder if they actually show the content this time, considering they didn't in London, and make important in-game decisions with you in real time. So as you can see, I'm going to try and pull it up. So you have Andrea Renee as the host. She's done What's Good Games. She's done other things as well. Felice Kuan, who's the director, was in the reveal stream, as we saw, and Jonathan Stauder, who is the game director on the game, who was also in the reveal stream. Both appearing there September 1st, Blue Dragon Theatre, and obviously you get a couple of things there as well, which you can kind of see, photo ops, giveaway, snacks, and Hot Dog Man. So Adam, obviously this kind of jumps off our last episode, which we did that entire segment about the marketing being a red flag. I said it's probably all internal marketing in the minute. That might not have aged well, but I think this has aged well, which is, I think, is very carefully selected event that they're going to, which is PAX West. Is going to be hosted by Andrea Renee. Andrea Renee is a journalist and a broadcaster. I do wonder if she'll ask any questions about the allegations, which she probably won't because she's been selected to host. But it's like, this is the problem with it, because it's like this is an event which obviously for me screams red flag, because they're not going to have anyone answer any questions about the allegations that were made against from IGN to Deck Nine and Square Enix, which both of them have refuted. I should just add as well, but neither of them are going to ask questions again. But I do question about Andrea Renee as well, because like, you did work as a journalist, you worked as a broadcaster, you worked in those kind of fields, and you're sitting there on the panel with this kind of event, and it's like, it feels just, like just a strange kind of thing to see, if anything. I'm like, would you not ask the questions about this? It's like, also as well, I imagine like some people, it wouldn't surprise me if someone says to me, I went to PAX West and they were like, we had to submit the questions beforehand, pre-screened, and then they said, oh, actually you get to ask a question to this person.
Yeah. I don't know. I don't think we're going to get any big answers in this. Like, no. I don't think so. Because again, Square Enix is going to be like all up in arms about this. It's like you said, I think Andrea Renee is a very good host to pick for this, because it is safe. I think Andrea Renee is very professional. I think she asks the good questions in terms of marketing. I think this is just a well selected interview process, especially with Felice Kuan and Jonathan Stauder. Excuse me, sorry. But yeah, no, good for Dream Prism, who lives here and can go. But like, I don't know. I think this is going to be one of the most well scripted interviews we've ever seen. I think it might.
Yeah, I don't think you're going to get like. I think that's the problem. It's PR managed this, if anything. Which is a shame, because I think Jonathan Stauder seems like a lovely person from those streams. I've seen him like talk and stuff, and same with Felice Kuan as well. I think that those Deck 9 developers are basically being hamstrung a little bit by what's happened with the allegations and stuff. Like, they can't really do much at this point. They're going to have to like just, the marketing is dealt by Square Enix, and Square Enix is really putting an iron fist on like everything and anything here, which is a bit of a shame. But yeah, that's something to keep an eye out. And I do wonder if they actually they will show footage now, compared to the London stuff where it's like, we're going to show you something and then never showed that. But PAX West is a lot bigger of a convention as well. So stay tuned. We'll keep an eye out on that. We'll let you know what we see and if we do learn anything. Adam, next piece of news quickly.
Yes, definitely.
So I'm going to go to quickly. I'm going to put this on screen again for you guys, if we have it on screen. No, we don't. I didn't put it up a screen. Never mind. So I'll just pull it up here anyway, and we'll just read through it. So this was from Hannah Telle herself. Obviously, was in London for the Photography Foundation and Square Enix's event. Oh, look at that! Here we go. My man, he is delivering for the assist for the listeners. He has pulled up our little graphic that we pulled up. Hannah Telle has followed us on Instagram. I love Hannah Telle. I adore that woman. I absolutely don't care however I feel about this game, whatever else. Adore this woman. She will win a BAFTA for this. Hannah will carry this game. But she put a lovely message. So I'm just going to read it out here, which is, huge thank you to Square Enix, Life is Strange, and Photography Foundation for taking me on a trip of a lifetime. This was my first time going out the US, and I was totally in awe at the entirety of the trip. London is such an incredible city and truly renewed my spirit of adventure. I feel so blessed to have gotten to meet the sweetest Life is Strange fans at the Photography Foundation event, some of whom I've been in touch with for 9 years. So very thankful for awesome friends at Square Enix for helping me make this happen and taking such good care of me on my first solo journey abroad. Also got to meet up with a good friend from our internships at LA Film Fest after the 15 years. I'm trying to miss out some of the names because it's just, I don't know the full names, it's just handles. I even rode on the tube myself to Camden Town, which is that's so cool to know that Hannah Telle's on the tube to Camden Town. Continue, I'm blown away by the magic of the game and how it totally transformed my life for the better. Thank you so much to everyone who came out to the event. It meant the world to me to have you there. So that's that. Thank you. And thank you, Adam, for putting that screenshot on for us. Adam, this is going to go down as my biggest regret in life, not going to meeting her now. I wish I would have just gone. I wish I would have just dropped the extra money and just gone to see her. Because I honestly, like, I know that Hannah, I know I've done previous interviews with Hannah where she's like not being able to like move out the US and stuff, and she's like been landlocked there and she's not going on trips. But if anything, even from the marketing stuff, I'm happy that Hannah Telle is like central to the marketing because she's going to carry this game, in my opinion. Her performance will carry it. I think Max Caulfield in itself as the character will carry the game. And I'm so happy for her, if anything, but I'm just so upset that I didn't go now in the end. I should have just like basically...
It is weird that you didn't go because you live in London.
I do not live in London.
Isn't all of England just London? Isn't London just another name for England?
This is your... Well, it depends. Actually, you probably would get that feeling with some people in the UK when they watch news as well. It's like, why is all the news about London? It's like, you do not.
Yeah, just like all of America is just New York. New York is just another name for America.
Those New Yorkers, they love it, don't they? I'm really happy for her. I really am. Like, more than anything else, I've interviewed her multiple times. She was my first ever interview I ever did in the journalism industry. I'm thrilled for her. I'm happy for her. I hope a lot of success from her. I'm glad that she had this opportunity, and obviously a lot of people who went there. I'm very jealous of you that you got to go there. Now I wish I would have gone, but yeah, I thought we'd give that a shout out because I think it was a very touching message from Hannah to the community, if anything.
Definitely. I mean, like, I think everybody's excuse me. I think everybody's take on double exposure is just like it's the same thing over and over again. Where it's just like, I'm glad Hannah Telle is in it. I'm very happy for that. I'm glad Max is in it. And they're always saying, I'm glad Hannah Telle's back. I'm just glad that Hannah Telle's back. You know what I mean? So good for that.
For sure. So, Adam, next two pieces of news, let's combine them because it'll be easier, if anything, and we'll cut down the time. So, it is 2 birthdays this month. It is
double birthday.
It is Victoria Chase, and it is Sean Diaz. And also, Adam, I'm going to pull this up on screen share again. And so, guys, for listeners, we'll kind of like inform you of this. I actually tweeted this morning of recording. So, can you see it?
Yes.
These are 3 tweets from Life is Strange, and it should pull up a big screen. Can you see the bigger picture?
Yes.
2021. 2023, 2024.
Yeah, dude.
There is no other picture of Sean Diaz that exists. No other picture,
dude.
Like,
they hate this game, dude. They hate it.
I only bring it up because, like, for the reason of the fact that they do everyone else's, so they do all the other characters, and there is an artwork for Sean in 2022, but they did it for like Victoria. Victoria, like, here's a beautiful piece of artwork from someone from the fan. Instead, it was like, do you like filing cabinet? There's the Sean picture. We're happy.
There's the Sean picture. Put it out.
Do you know what? I wouldn't even be that much annoyed if it was a different Sean picture with happy birthday. It's the same. It's like if we did Adam's birthday every year on the Play One vs. World podcast. It was the same.
It was just my Cast a Garden. Just my Cast a Garden picture every time.
Every single time. I was like, oh my, when I saw it, I was like, oh my God, I can't believe that. But yeah, it is 2 birthdays. I love both these characters. I think they're great in their own rights. I enjoy for what it is. I think Sean is getting written out of history. He only gets basically mentioned by Square Enix when it's within the realms of the Life is Strange franchise. We need to talk about it. So that's a shame, but I think he's a great character. I think he's a really good protagonist. Gonzalo Martin's a great performer for that role. Won a BAFTA for it. I think he's the only second actor to win a BAFTA in the entire series. Ashley Birch won it for Chloe Price. Unbelievable performance. And obviously Queen Bee, the Queen of the Vortex Club, Victoria Chase, destroyed her cashmere sweater many years ago. Didn't regret it. But no, I think they both get great characters, and it's like, it's quite interesting as well, actually, in the timeline of things, just a general kind of conversation to you, that, for example, Sean Diaz was potentially going to appear in the comics with Emma Vicelli's one, but they pulled him because of Life is Strange 2 coming out, etc. But then Victoria had like an expanded arc in that comic. Like, they basically really built her in there, even though initially they didn't want her in there, if anything, or like she wasn't actually a planned character. But I think both these characters have aged well. I actually really admire both of them.
Definitely. No, like I think Sean is so underutilized in the Life is Strange marketing, whereas Victoria Chase also is underutilized. So happy birthday to these characters, and hopefully Sean gets a different picture very soon in the future.
Do you know what? We are going to bookmark this. We're going to come back to it in 2025. I hope that someone Square Enix is watching this and then changes the picture to something.
Just like any picture, dude. It could be just like the cover art, you know?
I'm not even asking for fan art. I'm not even asking for anything. Even keep the font if you want. Keep the font. I'm fine with it. Just change the picture. There is more than one picture of Sean Diaz. All I'm saying. Just change the picture. That's all I ask for. Adam, final piece of news. I thought this was just a quick, fun one, if anything, and I'm going to pull it up one more time as well for all the listeners, if anything. And I thought it's just a little bit of a random way I like putting little things in here. The best prison movie of all time, Life is Strange 1 and 2, co-director Michel Koch, Lost Records Bloom and Rage's creative director, Donald Montreal studio creative director, put The Shawshank Redemption. So he responded that, and obviously as well, there's Frederica Funner Jennings, who's Donald Montreal's managing director, said No Doubt in response. So completely
also a
agree with
great band.
Yeah, No Doubt isn't talked about enough. I agree with you, actually. I do love Spiderwebs. Great band. Definitely. Adam, Shawshank Redemption, best prison movie of all time.
Yeah, that's like the only choice you can make. Like, unless you say Green Mile, you know, it's going to be between Green Mile and Shawshank. You know, but
I also like Escape from Alcatraz with Clint Eastwood. 1979. Not as good, I'd say. If anything,
not as good. That's definitely like up there in the top 5. But like, I don't know, if we're gonna say the best prison movie of all time, and if your answer is not either Green Mile or Shawshank, then I don't trust you as a person.
And I think also it's a bit locked that as well, like in a category, because if you're going to say the best prison film, it's going to be Shawshank Redemption. If you're going to say the best TV show prison themed, Prison Break, it feels like unanimous.
Well, season 1, Prison Break.
That first season, it's like
4th season,
5th season. Did you watch the 5th season?
No. Is it good?
Oh my! Is it good?
It is. Is it good?
Horrendous.
Oh,
it is. Do you know when it's like you just like it's like when Breaking Bad did El Camino? It's like it's not needed. And then on top of that, also as well, as you said with Prison Break, the 4th season is bad. And then on top of that,
4th season's horrible. The movie was bad.
Yeah, the TV movie was bad.
Yeah, the TV movie was horrible. And now I saw that there's a 5th season I didn't see. I'm like, no, I'm not planning to see that, dude.
Do not watch it. Do not watch
it. First 2 seasons were absolutely great. Then the 3rd season was like, what are we doing?
Underrated for me. I think it's okay.
3rd? Yeah, 3rd is okay. It was just kind of like, why? Yeah. Why are we doing this? It was fine for what it was.
I think if anything, they could have ended after the 3rd season. It would have ended on a high note there because, like, actually, you do it one more time, we're done. See you later. End of story.
Yeah.
It's when you go down to the 4th season. It's and
it becomes a fetch quest.
Yeah, that's the problem with it. So yeah, I think otherwise it is in that echelon of great content. Adam, news is done. Quick segment here because I thought you've listened to Life is Strange Heatwaves. The audiobook is out. Erika Mori, Alex Chen herself, has done the audiobook. Funnily enough, Life is Strange hasn't tweeted about this in any way, shape, or form about the audiobook, as you will. But you listened to it. I'm going to listen to it this week coming for different reasons. But yeah, early impressions, early thoughts. Did you like it? Did you not like it?
I'm going to be as nice as I possibly can.
Here we go.
Okay. For anybody that enjoyed it, good. You know, it is a written work. You're allowed to enjoy things, okay? You are very much allowed to enjoy this book because in the year 2024, everything is miserable. If you find happiness in literally anything that's legal, I pat you on the back and say, good, you found happiness. So I am not a fan of this book. Let me give you some context here. I loved Rosie Thor's Steph story. I gave it a 5 out of 5. I thought it was brilliant. Like Rosie Thor's Steph story I thought was great. I thought I understood Life is Strange as a concept. I thought it was a love letter to the series. I think she handled Steph and Izzy so well. Great book. I would love to listen to it again. I still have it. I did not enjoy this. I didn't enjoy this like at all. I'm not going to go into any spoilers. We might do that once Adnan reads this and listens to this. But I already told him some spoilers. But there's some things in this story that just make absolutely zero sense, dude. Like, absolutely not. So for one thing, again, I'm going to just go into concept rather than spoilers. But the concept being that, like, Steph and Alex break down in the middle of the road. They're on their way to Fort Collins, Colorado. Now, when I say this, I have never been to Colorado. I've never stepped foot into Colorado. I've only lived in America. Okay. I'm from Pennsylvania. Okay. Now this is important when I say this. I'm from Pennsylvania. Now, Pennsylvania is a blue state. The reason why it's a blue state is because of Pittsburgh and Philly. Oh, Adam, are you a red person? No, silly. I'm Green Party. I've said this on this episode before. But anyways, it's only blue because of Philly and Pittsburgh. One's on the east side, one's on the west side. Everything in the middle is Alabama. Dude, it is like you go to anywhere in Pennsylvania that's not Philly or Pittsburgh, and brother, you're gonna see so much red. You think the whole country is bleeding. Like, it's insane. That's important for me to say. Colorado is a blue state. That's because of the big cities such as Denver, Fort Collins, Boulder. Doesn't mean that when they stop in this rural town in Colorado, in the rural town, I mean, like, there's rusted up pickup trucks. There's gas stations that haven't changed their prices since the 1930s. They have diners there, like old school crappy coffee diners. I've been to towns like this. They are not blue, dude. And this is making it sound like those areas in Colorado are so left that they're right, because they go all the way around that they become right. They are talking about like women's rights to abortion. And I'm not saying I'm against these, but I'm like, if you go to these towns, they're not cool with that, dude. Like, they're talking about that. They're talking about environmental protection. They're talking about very, very, very left-leaning, like, socialism kind of talk. And I'm just like, dog, if you ever step foot in these towns in America, not only will you not get those things, but you won't get like serious political conversations at all in this place. Secondly, it's called Heatwaves because it's really hot and there's a drought happening in Barbasol. That's right. They're in the town called Barbasol, which is a made up town and also a brand of shaving cream. So Barbasol, Colorado, is going through a drought that sounds like it's been going through the same drought. Like, they've had zero water for the past decade. Okay, they haven't had water in like a decade from what I've collected, right? To the point where they're in a diner and they so I don't care. I'm going to spoilers right here. I don't care at this point. They're going into a diner and
For the listeners, I listen to the unfiltered version, by the way, just so that you know.
They go into a diner, and the drought is so bad, apparently, that they don't have poached eggs. They don't have poached eggs. Why don't they have poached eggs? Because it takes too much water to make the poached eggs. And then they start talking. Bro, how the story ends up being, I'm not going to go into straight up spoilers, but if the drought is this bad that they can't have poached eggs because it takes too much water, And then in that same scene, there's somebody who orders a tomahawk steak, and then the same town is talking about, oh, don't they know that getting this kind of steak is environmentally bad because, you know, it takes so much water to produce a tomahawk steak, and they don't really care about the environment in this way. I'm like, dude, have you not stepped into these towns, dog? They are not saying those things, dude. They are not. They are going to be blaring country music. They are going to be talking about how, like, nothing on politics. They don't talk about politics in these towns. They really don't. Like, the only politics they talk about are just like, man, these liberal kids, they don't know nothing. Nobody's talking like this in these towns. Again, I've never stepped foot in Colorado. There might be small towns that are like, the whole state might be so blue that even these small towns in Colorado are talking about environmental change and climate change and all this. They don't talk about these at all. It's so unrealistic. I don't want to go into spoilers, but there are so many things in this book that make absolute zero sense. There's a whole setup. I'm not going to go into this. I already told Adnan about this. There's a whole setup where there's a gun involved, and Alex actually says the lines, there's 13 reasons why you need to put that gun down. And I'm just like, you wrote that in so that you could set up the line 13 reasons why. And then the other part about this book is that okay, I want to iterate. I liked Rosie Thor's book. I liked the comics. I even like True Colors. I don't care. I'll shout it from the skies. I love Life is Strange True Colors. I don't care that people hate it. Love the game. What this book does, it reads partially as this political agenda in terms of like very left-leaning. Like, I consider myself a very liberal person. I am a card-carrying socialist, dog. Even this book was too liberal for me, dude. Like, it gets into some heavy things and pop. It is very much okay. The other thing I'll say in terms of context, I am a firm believer that everything is political. Absolutely everything's political. I will get into a street fight with you if you tell me that Metal Gear Solid is not political. I will fight you in a parking lot right here and right now. They're like, oh, I hope it's not political, this next Metal Gear Solid game. I will fight you, dude, so hard. Everything is political, okay? I'm all... This book, however, is just so on the nose with its political policies that the entirety of the book is just a politics race. The whole premise of this book is about an election, and Alex tries to sway the election.
I can't do this. I'm out. See you later,
dude. And then how it also reads. So comparatively to Rosie Thor's book, that when I say that Rosie Thor's book was a love letter to, if you ever listen to an album by Logic, right? Everybody says that Logic just copycats different people, which he does. Logic has copycat. It's very much documented that he's copycatting Kendrick Lamar, and I love Logic. But if you listen to a Logic album, it's a love letter to hip hop. Like, he's bringing in different things, different lines. He even brings up, like, sitting on Chrome's beat. You know, he definitely loves hip-hop. And that's what Rosie Thor's was. Rosie Thor, it was just, like, little nods here and there to different Life is Strange things. Like, oh, this, and then the town. Like, it's very much, like, I love the game series. How this book reads whenever it goes into Life is Strange, it's specifically True Colors. It is specifically Life is Strange True Colors. And how it reads is like, political policy, and previously on True Colors, political policy, previously on True Colors, and then previously on True Colors. Like, it only talks about things that happened. Like, you remember when this happened in True Colors? You remember when this happened in True Colors? You remember when this happened in True Colors? And I'm just like, do you like Life is Strange? Like, it just feels like this book feels like it was commissioned by Square Enix. It feels like it's a fan fiction. It feels like it like Rosie Thor's like was a commissioned book, but it felt like, oh, I'll take this assignment and I'll run with it. But this feels like Square Enix had specific things that they wanted to be in the book, and then it was a commissioned piece of work. I did not enjoy this book. It's like, man, I'm not gonna stand here and say that like the written work is an easy thing to do. Writing a book is very hard. Making characters is incredibly difficult. I'm not trying to say that I could do any better. If you said, Adam, write a Life is Strange novel, could you do any better? Probably not. I suck at writing. But at the same point, there are things that just do not make any sense in this book. Like in terms of just like who Alex is as a character. Like they take Alex as a character. I'm just like, why would she do this? Absolutely, why would she do this? Whereas like Rosie Thor's take on Steph and Izzy, they were toxic for each other, but you understood it because they're young. They think they know what love is, and they're just trying to like figure out their sexuality. Whereas this book, just like Alex gets in the middle of an election and just tries to like tamper with it, and I'm just like, why? So like that's all I'm gonna say before I get into like some deep spoilers here. But there are some things about like the whole drought situation that I'm just like, if the drought is this bad, then why did this happen? Or if the drought is that bad, why are you making this decision? If the drought is this bad, like it, and I don't want to go into any deep cut spoilers, but like once you read it, maybe we'll go into spoilers. But like it's a rough one, dude. It's a really rough one. What are your questions, Adnan? What do you have for me?
Well, we'll revisit this in September, I imagine, for the next StrangeCast, because I will have fully listened to it by then as well. I'll just be embracing myself for life at the minute. Secondly, I probably would have left a 1-star Yelp review on the place with the diner with the eggs if they had done that to me, because there's not a chance I'm taking the drought thing for that, because I want my eggs and I want them poached.
But they're like, oh, sorry, we can't because it takes too much water. I'm like, I work in a restaurant, dude. Like, what are you talking about, dude? Like, there's so many other things that take up way too much water, and you're like, poached eggs. I'm like, what are you talking about? Like, the whole restaurant runs on water. Whatever. I just, whatever.
I don't actually have any questions for you at the minute, because it's like I've heard the unfiltered rant, which I wish I would have recorded and put on a Patreon for like a locked tier, because it's the most entertainment box office rant you could ever seen, guys. And then ultimately, the other thing I have, which is like, I kind of got what you mean though, because it seems like this seems like a fan fiction-y kind of like led story rather than a character centric piece of like Life is Strange, Steph's story, if anything, that was like more centric to that. It was like very heavily built with it. I think if anything, because we're kind of heavy on time as well, I think the only thing I'll ask you is, obviously Erika Mori is the audiobook. What do you think?
Yes. Oh man, Erika Mori's performance was actually great. Like I will say this I will defend this, that Erika Mori's performance, when she read for Alex, you know, of course she was Alex, but like when she read as Steph, she tried to take on the inflections of Katie Bence, and she sounded like Steph as she was reading for Steph. It wasn't Alex Chen trying to impersonate Steph. It was Erika Mori doing her best to be Steph. And I thought that was a great touch. She got like some accents in there with like Southern drawls. Also, why did the characters, it's in Colorado, but she made them sound like they were from Georgia, which was funny to me. But, you know, that's just like a little nitpick. But yeah, no, like it was fine. Like I thought her performance was really on point. Like she did her best with creating characters, creating differentiating dialogue between Steph and Alex. No, her performance was great. Yeah.
Yeah, it sounds like a big plus. I think if anything as well, I think it sounds like a really big mixed bag, if anything, for that book. And I think if anything, you can listen to it for free on Audible, so you can sign up for free membership and listen to it. So it probably is worth just listening to it for that. But yeah, it sounds I get when you said to me, it's like, it's not for you, dog. And I'm like, Adam, never say that to me. Because when Adam says to me, it's not for you, dog, I'm like, he's very much on brand there. He knows it's going to happen. That let's revisit it next episode, if anything.
Yes,
because I think we can have a big deeper conversation of it. So should we go into the main topic?
Yes, let's do it.
Okay, so we're here for our main topic. I think with Lost Records at this point, obviously we're coming out on Wednesday. It seems futile to talk about what's going to be shown because the gameplay is going to be shown on the opening night live of Gamescom. We are very excited. So stay tuned for Lost Records Journal. That'll be out the following Tuesday. You'll get following Wednesday, sorry. You'll get a full in-depth reaction. It's going to probably be our biggest episode since we've launched, if anything, for a topic, if anything. So do stay tuned for that. However, the other thing that we can talk about, which is Life is Strange, is going to be at Gamescom, which, by the way, Adam, I'm going to put on screen share here quickly because we've got a little bit of graphic here for all our listeners. The 22nd of August, Life is Strange Double Exposure has been confirmed for Xbox at Gamescom live stream next week. So as you can see that, I've circled it with red because I will be honest, Adam, to be honest, I'm going to end the screen share here. I didn't even notice that at first. I didn't even know it was there. I saw the Xbox Gamescom list. The font is terrible on that graphic that they posted from the Xbox one. Looked at it, didn't even see it. And then someone else flagged up saying, actually, Life is Strange is here at Gamescom. I'm like, oh.
And then something else I didn't notice either was
going to screenshot
this
here.
little penguin guy.
It is.
Every time you send me TikToks, it's at least one of these, if not two. I always send you the TikToks with 1 million beers, and then you send me these guys every time.
That is actually very true. You send the 1 million beers one.
How about 1 million beers? Like, yeah, bro, sounds good.
The penguins are just adorable and cute to respond to people. I find them quite wholesome and stuff. I just try and find. I always like when I reply to people, I'm like, what can I reply with that isn't deeply offensive and just really wholesome? And who says that I even run that account, if anything? You made an assumption there. That could be anyone running that account. Just saying.
You could be not offensive, but you will send a copium gift.
That wasn't me. That was not Fingy. That was not me sending that to Life is 2D. Adam, right, Gamescom, quick conversation because I don't think this is going to be a huge middle topic. Life is Strange has returned to the Xbox showcase. They were there at the reveal event when we saw it, when they revealed it a couple of months back. It's going to be shown there in some kind of capacity, if anything. I was surprised that it was there. I didn't even expect it to be there. It seems obviously that there's a big Xbox heavy collaboration. Hannah Telle has signed stuff. They've done a controller. They've done giveaways. I think the one thing you said to me off podcast, which is revealing, and I kind of feel like it might even lean towards that, is could it actually come to Games Pass?
I think it might. I don't think. Here's the thing. We are now. It comes out in October 24th or
27th or 9th or something, and then the really early releases.
October 29th. Yes. So it is coming out pretty much about 2 months away. So by the time it's revealed, right, it will be 2 months away. I think that would be a perfect time for them to say, like, by the way, it will be included in Game Pass and there will be an available, like, there's a upgrade package. So you can get it on Games Pass and then also an upgrade package for $30 so that you can get the 2 weeks early access, right?
Yeah.
So instead of paying $80, you only have to pay $30 if you're on Games Pass. And I think that's the way to get people in. Honestly, I might do that. If they do that, like $30 and I get the 2 weeks early access, like I might, because then it's just like $30 for me instead of 80. But they've done that before. They have done that. Like they've done it with Forza Horizon 5, where if you pay like the big fee of, like, I think it was also $30. If you pay like the extra fee, you can get a 3 days early access. And bro, I am such a Forza Horizon guy. Yeah, I paid the $50. Heck yeah, just to play it 3 days early. Yeah, let's go, dude. But they've done that before. They have done it before where there's an upgrade package. So it would go into what Xbox has done, and also I think Square Enix wants to partner up with Xbox a lot.
Which they have done before. Tomb Raider.
They have done it
in the past.
Tomb Raider is on. Yeah, it was on Game Pass. As was Life is Strange. Life is Strange 1 and 2 were on Games Pass. And there's just a lot to do. And the rumors being that Final Fantasy 16 is coming to Xbox. Like, there's a lot of Square Enix partnership with Xbox happening that I think the reveal will be that Life is Strange Double Exposure is coming to Game Pass.
Which I think is really interesting that you now bring it up, because like we were talking about Lost Records before. I don't think Lost Records comes to Games Pass because it's an independent developer, and it makes sense with that. And Games Pass is like, we've talked about Games Pass quite a few times on StrangeCast and stuff, where it's like, it's not really a lucrative thing for publishers. But for example, with Square Enix's history, Square Enix has had a long-standing relationship with PlayStation. For example, with the Final Fantasy games remake and stuff like that. And then you see in the news where it's like the sales haven't been as strong, they've underperformed, etc.
Yes.
And then obviously, again, as you said, Tomb Raider was on there. There was like a partnership with Tomb Raider in the past, etc. It honestly wouldn't surprise me if they were basically willing to take the hit on sales on Xbox, because probably PlayStation and PC will be highest. PlayStation will be higher sales.
PlayStation will be highest.
Yeah. PC will be relatively good sales, but PlayStation will be the higher sales. But they're willing to take the hit to bring it to Games Pass to entice people, like you're saying, because obviously if you get on Games Pass and then you can get a $30 upgrade where you can just access it 2 weeks early, you've already bought Games Pass, you can pull it on. I have a funny feeling that I have a funny, suspicious feeling. I think you're absolutely on the nail on the head, because if it didn't come to Games Pass now by October, I'd be very surprised, because I think it seems to be suggesting that, because I think there is, depending on the publisher, depending on the studio, I think you can technically be lucrative with Games Pass so long as you have other consoles, other special editions releases that you can release on. So I think potentially that would be a good way for them to announce it at Gamescom. And also on top of that, it is on the Xbox card. Like, they've shown it there, the graphic, it shows it is being there. It's not like a surprise reveal, because if it was a surprise reveal, it could be 30 seconds of footage or throwaway. It's centric to that Xbox day, if anything, suggesting that. I think the footage will be new footage. I don't think it's going to be extensive gameplay stuff. It'll be another trailer. If anything, we might see a couple more scenes. I don't think we're going to get revealed a lot more information, because we already know what the plot is, if anything.
I know the plot. We've already discussed who the characters are and who we've partnered with, apparently. You know, and that's the other thing. I don't think that even Square likes the plot of this game, because all they're talking about is like, oh, who's Moses, and oh, look, Doc Martens, and oh, look, is this? It's just like, they're not really talking about like anything else. They're just like kind of distracting you from like, so how about these other things that are in there?
Yeah, it is a key distraction, because the focus is Max. Max is carrying that game. Hannah Telle is carrying that game. My opinion, that's like, you can shoot the messenger, whatever. My opinion is Max is carrying that game. Like, she's literally the 101. We've seen it with reactions. We've seen it with things we covered. However people feel, I think that's quite revealing, if anything. I don't think we're going to see something extraordinary, personally speaking, at that event, if anything. Like, not to kind of like dimmy down it, but I don't think it's going to be something mind-blowing. Your Chloe Price fans, etc., I don't think you're going to see Chloe Price again. I don't think you see Chloe Price in any way, shape, or form up until release now, if anything, because I think the writing is on the wall for that, and it's been shown time and time again. She'll be in the game, in my opinion. I think she'll be in the game. She'll be in flashbacks. She'll be in sequences. However, I think it's just mentions. I think they're going to basically, this is again, for me, a firm stance that this is a soft reboot with Max at the helm. They will touch on shades of her history, but that's about it. It's just basically a new Max story. A new Max story. Her past life is her past life. We'll mention it. We'll make some kind of references to it. Deal with it. And there might be one or two returning characters. They've done it in the comics. It wouldn't surprise me, obviously, if Chloe appears in some way, shape, or form, but it's not the systemic interest that you wanted or what you expected, if anything. So I don't think you're going to see Chloe Price there.
I don't think you will. I think it'll be how do you do that smoothly, in a trailer? I don't think you're gonna see it. The only thing that you've gotten is the fan favorite outfit. Like that. That's it. That's the only way you're gonna see Chloe Price like marketed in this game. Yeah,
like, it is. It's been that and the Polaroid, during the Polaroid that she's holding in the trailer that we've seen, and it's very subtle. It for me, it's not a kind of a big thing where it's like it's going to be revealed in the game where she plays a big role and she's the future of the series. It doesn't work like that. In that, we had that massive comment in the last episode, really insightful, that we talked about from the developer, the person who's like a designer who's been working on this stuff.
Yes.
It just shows you the level to make something that intricate of bringing a character back when you have an ending which is very like divisive on that front. So I think like I don't think she's going to be shown. I don't think she's going to be seen yet. I think I still expect her to be in the game, but again, I have a very different perception of the role she's going to play. At Gamescom, Adam, do you think we'll see a gameplay trailer? Do you think it's just going to be a hash footage of like different sequences? That's a very brief trailer. What are you kind of expecting, if anything, from this?
Let me look at the tag of what else will be shown.
Because obviously, I know you'll be fist pumping if it comes to Games Pass. Then you can be like, yeah, I'm all for this dark. I'm like excited.
Here's the thing, though. Like, if it comes to Games Pass and there's a $30 upgrade,
yeah,
I'll do that. Like,
yeah.
I will for sure do the $30 upgrade because like it's between that or paying $50 for the full game or $30 and get it 2 weeks early.
For sure.
They'd be stupid not to do that, dude.
Yeah.
So like that would win people over straight up. So take the money from Xbox and take an extra 30 from fans. You know, I would do that.
Because your boy Phil was on stage and like he was with Square Enix and stuff like in recent memories, like I think it's this year and last year, whatever it was. Like they've got a collaboration going now. It seems like that's the wind's direction that it's going, and it really wouldn't surprise me if Life is Strange was on Games Pass. It really would not.
Yeah, no, I think it would be. I don't think we're going to see some major gameplay because I'm looking at some of the games that are on like the headliners. Like you have Diablo the first day, and then that day that they're going to show Life is Strange, you have Star Wars Outlaws, you have Fallout 76, you have Towerborn, you have Elder Scrolls Online, World of Warcraft on Xbox, and even before that, you have Microsoft Flight Simulator. You have what else? First Berserker. Yeah, First Berserker here. Planet Coaster 2. I don't think we're going to see anything new from Double Exposure, especially Little Nightmares 3. Like, take it from me, they're going to show more about Little Nightmares 3 than they are about Double Exposure in terms of like anything new. They're going to show you something new from Little Nightmares 3 than they are going to show Double Exposure new.
For sure. I think it's just going to be a trailer of some form. It'll be like
a trailer and to reveal that it's coming to Game Pass.
And not to mention they're at PAX West. We just covered it in the news as well. So it's like they've already got another event that they've linked onto. So it feels like they're going to show something. And it's like, yeah, it'll be the announcement because obviously the release date we know anyway. So it's release date's already there. At the end, it comes
release date's there, characters are there. Yeah.
And then at the bottom as well, it'll just come up, release date will show, and then it'll be like coming to Games Pass day one or something. And it's like, that's probably the major kind of like scale that they're doing with it. I think you'll see something new. I don't think it's going to be gameplay. I don't think it's going to be like how Lost Records is being positioned, where it's like we're going to see gameplay for the first time. Like they've already explicitly said that's what's happening on opening night of Gamescom. So let's go into the comment of the podcast, and then we'll kind of go towards the end of this. But yeah, let us know in the comments what you think about Gamescom's Life is Strange Double Exposure reveal. Are you going to expect anything big? You know, expecting gameplay? Yes. Do let us know, so we'll go into that. Adam, comment the podcast. This is from Little Orphan Emma, which I'll read here. It says, great video. Thank you very much for that. I gotta say that in fairness to the Doc Martens, there's some genuine cultural history there. In the 1960s, Doc Martens were used as a quote-unquote secret signifier, end quote, where lesbians would wear them to identify one another or on the street, This was when homosexuality was illegal and the community needed safe ways to find one another. The versions Max are wearing are specifically a throwback to the exact 1960s model. So there's some genuine queer history that some members of the LGBTQ community understand. The wariness around product placement is definitely understandable, but that history associated with those boots at least gives it some deeper meaning, end quote. So thank you for that comment, if anything. Emma, we really appreciate that. And thank you for the lovely words as well. Adam, I'm going to start this quickly. So I agree with all you said as well. And thank you for the very much insightful history lesson on that as well. I didn't know it anywhere near as much. I knew that there were people who were like obviously very hyped when we saw the Doc Martens revealed. I thought it was a very recent cultural thing that has come about, but obviously it's deeply systemmed in it. One thing that I have here as well is that basically it is a very nice idea, obviously, a very representative towards that. However, it is just smeared in product placement. That's the thing with it, because it's not like it's with Life is Strange, with that, the way that they've done it, they've not really even focused on this message. So, for example, if they basically put this message out there with Emma's message, like literally framed it saying, this is the reason we're doing it, and then underneath said, we've partnered with Doc Martens for it, It'd make a lot more
Yes.
sense. Instead,
Sure.
Life is Strange, Square Enix, none of this has been acknowledged by Square Enix. They haven't said any reference to this being like, because Max is a character that can be part of the LGBTQ community, that some people choose a love interest which is female, for example. She is one of this. They didn't acknowledge this. For example, this is also the Square Enix from the IGN article that doesn't accept that Life is Strange is a gay game, as it is said in the allegations article. So like they've not accepted any of this, which is where I think, if anything, and I said this to Adam off podcast, when I did my interview with Olivier Lucia, who's from Low Birth Games, did This Bed We Made, you can go watch it on the channel. He tells me so much about Canadian LGBTQ history, which I had no idea. That game is steeped in it. It's set in Canada. They explored their history. That's all important. The overarching part of the game, it's like you learn it. So it's like there's no product placement underneath it. There's nothing that signifies that it's a product placement. In itself, Low Birth, if they were going to do that, they were going to have the message first, then the product placement underneath it. However, with this as well, I get it will be a lot for a lot of people here, and it'll mean a lot for it. But your message, for example, is what the PR team needed, which is that you send the message saying, this is the cultural relevance and history of Doc Martens, why we bring it to Max. And then underneath, oh, we've signed up with Doc Martens as a partnership because we think it would be really helpful for people who love this part of the history. Then I wouldn't really have that much of an issue with it.
Yeah, that's the thing. It's just like, I think there's some good people working in Deck 9. I think there's some that are just like, they recognize that Doc Martens are doing good things and they know the history of Doc Martens, but Square Enix made the deal. And Square Enix does not care about the history of the LGBTQ plus. I mean, like you said in the articles, like there are allegations where Square Enix do not want Life is Strange to be a gay game. So while I think that you are correct on your history of Doc Martens in the 1960s. I don't think that Square Enix cares about that history, but I think that the 1960s model that are in the game was probably, I will say this, it was probably like fought over in battles in meeting rooms to say like, we want these specific Doc Martens in the game because of these reasons. And I guarantee you there were some fights in some meeting rooms about like which Doc Martens to put in, and they elected to put in these ones. So I'm going to say that Square Enix making the branding deal doesn't mean that they care about the LGBTQ plus. So don't go to Square Enix like applauding them. Applaud whoever, made those battles, like actually stood their ground in that meeting room, and to add
on to that as well, actually, because I think you fair point with that, because one of the former Deck 9 developers tweeted off it saying, I made the 3D models for these boots. We retweeted it. You can check it. That's why I said you should follow us on Twitter, because they tweeted about it saying that they made the 3D model, but was proud of it. You can clearly see that they obviously has people who are probably championed for this stuff. That's why, for example, your message, Emma, is like, is what is lost in the collaboration, because even the press release, none of this is signified. I don't know anything about it. Go and read the press release. None of this is signified in like this kind of like level of detail. For me, I've learned something here, which is, and Adam's saying that that's the thing with it, which is it's a product placement, unfortunately, because what is actually a great meaning here, which could have been very, concise. And then, as I said, you put this message out from Emma, here's the history lesson, why we've signified it, why we think it's important. Oh, and we've actually collaborated with Doc Martens to make this even more authentic. No one bats an eye. No one cares at that point, because even at that point, I can't sit here and be like, it's like, for example, if Stanley Cups were a big signifier for it. And you had this kind of comment again on it, and then underneath saying, we've actually made Life is Strange themed Stanley Cups that are signified with this partnership. Even Adam wouldn't be able to say much with that. He'd probably be in Target buying one with his no, that's going a bit too far. But like, if anything, that's the unfortunate reality with your message, which is that I think is very lovely, and thank you for the lovely, kind words. And it's nice to hear this and have from perspective from someone who has this kind of history. But it's just the product placement, the way it's done. That's why I think the tone comes across in the podcast. We did it well, where it's like, hang on a minute, it's like we were just kind of like sitting there talking about it. It's like, the product is like, it's just a product placement for us, because we were looking at like, well, obviously they've collaborated with this and it's done this kind of way. And I had some kind of relevance of why they were doing it, but it loses this message, which is the shame of it. And before we move on to Spread the Arts, actually, Adam, as well, I'm just going to pull up one last time, I think, if anything, I'll screen share, because I haven't responded to any of these comments, and I will in due course. And this is comment of the podcast, but there were some funny comments on here. If anything, I really always enjoy reading these on the YouTube. So obviously, Nice Field is here, so thank you for that as well. Nice Field was very funny with that. Thanks for the mental image of Chloe drinking out of a toilet, which is hilarious. I also love this one from KLJ, which was the Stanley Cup is a very good prediction. And I was like, no, I was like, don't say that because it's going to happen. That's like the most infuriating part, if anything. And shout out to all our commenters and listeners. But I always bought this one, which I was waiting to reply to. This is from Jack Rose. Jack likes a lot of our stuff on Instagram and stuff, and is really supportive. I was like sitting here, it's like, and this was in reference to my beanie as well. I was like, it's like, she might be wearing a beanie because it's snowy, and I'm like,
yeah.
I'm like, literally, I wanted to pull it up because I was like sitting there, seeing that comment. Because I sometimes open it, says email, it's like someone has commented, and I'm thinking,
listen, it's August right now. I'm wearing a beanie. No, it's just like because we're white people. We like this is just like what we do. You know.
When you like open this, like the emails up and the comments come, I'm like, what someone said here, and I read that comment. I was like, this. I'm like, how do I respond to Jack? I'm like, because
it's just like a basic white person thing to do. We just wear beanies no matter the weather. I wore beanies in July, dog. I wore a beanie in July in Arizona. Like, it's just what we do.
And speaking of which, actually, funny one. Do you know when I did interview Steph Trivison as well? I joked about Steph Gingrich having beanies and stuff. And I said, like, you know, have you ever, like, and she's like, actually, I'm a beanie person as well. She's like, I just didn't wear it for the podcast. I was like, oh, I was like, yeah.
We're all just like basic people, dude. Like, we're just like beanies. That's our fashion statement. Let's go, dude. Yeah.
So hopefully by the time this podcast comes out, Jack will have a response, but I'm still trying to figure out how to respond to it actually is snowing. There's a beanie and it's a good enough reason for that, if anything. Adam, spread the arts and then we can close this off.
Yeah.
Would you like to go first?
No, you can go first.
Oh, actually, here we go. So my spread the arts is it's spread the arts, but spread the awareness kind of thing, if anything. So I'm spinning your idea, which is I think when you initially introduced spread the arts to StrangeCast, it was that kind of idea of like bringing awareness to cultural and like, you know, anything that's like a medium, anything that you appreciate. Yeah. And like we have like stores here in the UK which call it HMV. They used to be like the biggest stores in terms of like selling DVDs, Blu-rays. They've had to like really adopt. So it's like they're still like they are the physical media hub still of like a lot of consumeristic items, and you can buy like a lot of things, but they've pivoted their businesses. Mine here, and I'm moving to my Microsoft Word document because I'm gonna read it out and you're not on my screen anymore. I basically decided to show off what consumeristic greed is looking like in 2024. Yeah. Okay. So I made a list here of everything to do with Life is Strange double exposure. Right. Let me read this out to you. Polaroid camera. If you wanted to buy it, not including the shipping costs and stuff, €129.99. Yeah, about $100, about 100 quid in the UK or something, $100 in the US. Yeah, because you just checked it early in this podcast. The Doc Martens, £170 boots to buy in the UK, $170 in the US. I checked that as well. That's the US standard price that they're charging for it. The Ultimate Edition, $74.99 in the UK, $79.99 in the US. The Deluxe Edition, $59.99 in the UK and the US, dollars and pounds. The Standard Edition, the digital-only edition, $49.99 both sides, UK and US. Steelbook Edition, physical, $49.99 UK and US. Life is Strange Double Exposure Collector's Box, $54.99 in the UK, $59.99 in the US, not including delivery costs. So in itself, I haven't actually worked all those out, but easily in excess, depending on whichever variations of editions you were buying, you'd probably be spending about maybe 150 plus pounds or dollars, if not more. Because if you want, for example, if you bought the Ultimate Edition, you ain't getting a disc. So eventually when they shut the servers down, you lose that game. And if you wanted the disc, you can buy it because you want to get Steelbook, so you'd be spending even more money on the same product that you've already owned. Then also as well, you can say that you don't hold a gun to someone's head and say that you don't have to buy Doc Martens or the Polaroid cameras. But again, they are very high expense tiered things that obviously people who love this game and love the fandom will want to buy. That was my consumeristic kind of like focus I wanted to put. And I wanted to raise a spread the awareness on spread the arts there, which is that basically appreciate what you have. So for example, if you want double exposure and you want to keep it forever, go and buy the physical edition. Because like there might be a thing of like getting a 2-week early access
at your local like game store.
Yeah, because I think as well, and I bring this up because before we came on as well, I read a comment where someone said that HMV store, for example, they said in the comments that their media campaign, their advertisement campaign should be, you own your assets if you buy from us. Which I thought, actually, I'm surprised that those kind of businesses haven't pivoted towards a a slogan of being, we are the people where you buy things from, you own it forever, because they're basically competing with Netflix, Spotify, everything of those services is not, you don't own those assets. You're on a subscription model service. My boy here has got an iPod. He's been listening to it, sends me a photo of it. He owns the albums he's buying. He gets to keep them. No one owns that stuff. So it's like, for example, in that collection of stuff there, you could buy quite a lot of that, not owning it. And in itself as well, like only a couple of years ago, look at that, no doubt, what an album. Oh, love those covers. Even like, for example, like Life is Strange Double Exposure collector's box would have been actually an edition 10 years ago. It would have been an edition, a collector's edition. The game would have been in it. The steelbook would have been in it. I bought my Horizon one 2 years ago. There was no freaking disc in it. It's like, what the hell is that? It's a digital code. There's a steelbook. There's no disc in it. So that was my spread of the arts. I was basically wanted to bring an awareness of consumeristic trends and thinking, and also it's down to you to stop it.
Yes. Like, that's the thing. You have to make the decision. I tell a lot of people that I have an iPod. They're like, don't you have a phone? I'm like, yeah, but I've made the decision to buy albums and put them on my iPod instead of just streaming it, you know? So,
for sure.
So, for my spread of the arts, hello here, cowboy. I'm in cowboy mode.
Oh my God.
You see here now us cow folks gotta be cow folks, because I've been listening to Post Malone's F1 Trillion Country album, and let me tell you something new here now, partner. It is the greatest cowboy country album that's ever come to be. Now here you see, better than Johnny Cash, better than Hank Williams. It's better. Hell, it's better than Blake Shelton. It's an okay album.
The beanie and the cowboy hat is just like tipping me over a little bit.
I can't get the cowboy hat. There we go. Now, see here now. I have listened to this album on my iPod. I love how you brought that up. Yes, I do have it on my iPod. I've listened to this album 5 times. And I will say that I think it's an album worth listening to. Post Malone coming out with his very first country album. And what is kind of like my little nitpicks here. Out of 18 tracks, 15 of them have features. And I'm just like, ugh, wow, that's a lot. But he brings in legends, like he has Dolly Parton. He has Hank Williams Jr. He has Tim McGraw, and he has Chris Stapleton. But he also has Jelly Roll. He has Blake Shelton in here, of course. Morgan Wallen. And my other nitpick is that like the mastering of this album is a little bit crunchy. Like, I don't know who mastered this album, but there are some tracks where I'm just like, this is just the audiophile in me. And I'm just like, I'm not the best mixer and masterer in the world, but like, oh dang, this is a little bit crunchy. But I will say though, that in terms of a country album, excuse me, this album is pretty good. I did text my friend who does listen to a lot of country, and even he says like it's a good album. It's not the most perfect country album, but it is still a good album. And there are some standouts in here too. And funny enough, that the standouts for me are like two of them are the ones that are by himself. One being "Don't Belong to Me," which is just Post Malone singing. Where it's a very good bop. And the final track being "Yours," where he's talking about his newborn daughter and how someday he's going to have to give her away at a wedding. And the "Yours" is like you, like talking to the future husband, saying like, you might call her yours, but she'll always be my baby girl. And it's just like, oh man, it's brutal, dude. But then he puts out the Long Bed Edition, which is 9 more tracks where it's, oh, there goes my hand. Where it's 9 more tracks of just Post Malone. And I'm just like, well, so you had 12 tracks of just you singing country. Why didn't you just put out an album of that? And I did listen to some of those 9 tracks, and I'm just like, oh, okay, I understand now. The last thing I'll say about this is that I have heard interviews that when Post Malone came to Nashville to write this album, he came in saying that, like, no, I want to work with some of the best country writers. I want to make a country album, not just Post Malone singing country. I want to do this right. So he did go into it. He became a student of the game. He brought on legends like Hank Williams Jr. coming onto this album tells me that like, you know, somebody believes in this album. So this is Post Malone's F1 Trillion. I highly recommend it. But yeah, no, I don't. Here's the other thing. I don't think this will change your mind on country. If you don't like country music, this isn't going to make you listen to country. I just think it's a really good album.
What a world we live in when 2024 Post Malone's making country music and Taylor Swift's doing the Tortured Poets department. And
dude, I've been saying that. I'm like, why? Country music is going so pop. And Taylor Swift could have come back with her own country album. Dude, Beyonce coming out with her country album. Now Post Malone coming with hers. Taylor Swift better come with a fire, dude.
I don't know why she doesn't seem to want to go back. It's just a bit weird, like, if anything. Like, I was watching a Teens React thing before, on the YouTube channel, and they were doing, like, 2007 bangers or whatever it was. And one of the songs that comes up is, I think it's 2007 Forgotten Songs or something. And it's like, Teardrops from My Guitar come on from Taylor Swift. It's from her album, which I think was like the second hit after Tim McGraw. And you kind of sit there thinking like, and they were like, this is a vibe actually. It's so different from what and I'm like, yeah, that's the entire point because she lost everything, guys. She's a country singer. She started off as a country singer. That's what she basically like left all. Oh, it's just weird, man. It's like just going.
Bro, if Taylor Swift was featured on this album because Post Malone was featured on Taylor Swift's album, why couldn't Taylor come on this album? I'm like,
exactly.
It's so bananas, dude.
That's the weird part about it. When you were mentioning all those people that were on there, obviously like, Dolly Parton's a legend in country, and among many other people that were mentioned on there, Tim McGraw. But it's like she's not on it. It's like what? It's like, it's just weird not to know that. And obviously
wild, dude.
And like cross collaboration happened earlier. Oh, just weird, man. Maybe we should release like 40th vinyl edition or something like this year, cover album. You've probably been seeing that in the news, but God only knows. But anyway, let's call it a day, Adam, because it's been on for a while. But thank you so much for joining us. As always, we're very appreciative for you guys to join us.
Thank you kindly for listening to this.
Do you know what? Max with a cowboy hat is the next product placement. But yeah, guys, let us know what you think in the comments. Let us know your previews for Double Exposure on Xbox Game Showcase. We're very much liking to hear it. Let us know if you think it's going to come to Games Pass. That'll be the big one because that will definitely be confirmed or not confirmed by Thursday. But yeah, as always, if you are new here, one more time, please do consider dropping subscribe to the channel, turn notifications, like the video, and share with your friends. Help support a very small channel. Helps keep you up to date with a supportive of this channel as well. And also as well, StrangeCast available on all podcast services. So available on Spotify with a video version. We're available on YouTube. We're available on all podcast services. So do download us. Do check us out. Please rate us on Spotify. We want to get back up to 4.9. Unfortunately,
and if you made it this far into the episode, please comment yeehaw in your comments. So please put a yeehaw in your comments if you made it this far.
And if you do, you'll get a response from the yeehaw boss himself as well.
Yeehaw.
Right. Guys, stay tuned. StrangeCast will be back next month now. And then obviously stay tuned for the Lost Records Journal. That'll be a big episode coming out later this month as well, so do stay tuned for that. Until next time, guys, yeehaw, and we're out.
Yeehaw.
Ready for the mosh pit, Shaka Bra.